Alright, so today I'm going to show you probably one of the easiest physical uh, modifications you can make to your Cruze fuel injectors. I've already done this a couple of times, and I think maybe I got the tuning aspect of it, so I'm going to try again. I'm going to make the video of physically swapping them out. So you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a T30. You're going to need fuel line removers to remove the rail, or you can remove the part of the crankcase ventilation tube and just pull it up out of the way. I'm going to remove the rail. I think it's better doing it that way. You're going to need a couple of towels, gloves if you don't want to get gasoline on your hands. I just want to wear them so that way I can jump right into the tuning aspect. I got my towels all positioned around there. Oh, and you'll probably need a 10mm to remove the ground line from the fuel rail. So what you want to do first, if you're going to do the remove the fuel rail, is just make sure there's no pressure. Take the Schrader valve cap off and just push down on there and get all the pressure out so it doesn't spray out unexpectedly. And then remove this clip, and then take your appropriately sized fuel line remover tool and remove the fuel line, and try not to drop any tools into the engine. I'll wrap that up in that towel to keep it from dripping all over the place. And you want to remove the ground. I guess you don't have to remove the ground first, but probably a good idea. Don't drop that ground nut. You'll be kind of sorry if you do. Okay, ground line up out of there. Okay, it's out of there. You could pull these up, I guess. Make it easier. And you just want to probably get a screwdriver as well. Didn't grab. Pull off all the injector harnesses. Okay, take those off. Then undo the two fastening bolts here. Hold the line on, or hold the rail on. And set those over here. If you're real lucky, you can pull this out, not spill any fuel out of the rail itself, because it holds enough to make a mess. And there you go, you've got your fuel injectors out. Now this is going to be full of fuel, so you're going to want to dump it out into a towel or whatever. You'll have to remove one of the injectors so it'll pour out. Whew. Yeah, there's quite a bit in there. There was so much it poured right through my towel and onto my glove. So then you'll just remove all the clips. I'm going to go ahead and not worry about what order these are in there in, because it kind of doesn't matter. Make sure it's clean. Grab the injectors, the new ones, or the ones you're putting in. I guess they don't have to be new. Make sure they're got something that lubricates these little O-rings. Yeah, I've actually failed at putting these clips on these particular injectors. So the last time I did it, I didn't put them on there, so I'm gonna not put them on there this time. I didn't have any fuel leaks, and it's more of when you remove it to swap back that you're gonna end up hating the fact that those clips aren't on there. So I'm going to grab all these injectors here. Okay. I like to put the cap at least on the fuel inlet side of the injectors when I'm putting them back in there. I'm just going to loop these up, slide them on. These are still quite a bit lubed up from the last time I had them in. But I'll put some more on just so that way it's all good. So there's your new injectors on there. I'm just going to go ahead and pull these rags out of here. Sneak this in. Got the sun coming in the worst way down here, killing my vision. I'm going to go ahead and slip that ground wire back on there. Don't forget to put that on there. Probably how they get their ground. And snap on all the electrical leads. Okay, put your wires back in your holders. Put your fasteners back on the rail. engine is slightly warm from the drive home, but it's not hot. Probably be safe if it was absolutely cold. Put your clip back on. Put your ground wire fastener back on there. Okay, tighten it up. Make sure everything's tight. Okay, tight. Wires back down in place, and your hoses and all your good stuff. If you take the ventilation PVC hose off, or whatever part of it is, make sure you don't lose the O-ring that's in this hose. If you do, you're going to end up with a nice whistle, and you're going to not know why your engine's not running right. And with the turbo, you're not going to realize that that whistle's coming from a vacuum leak, unless you're really paid attention to the way your engine sounds. You'll have a lot of issues with that vacuum leak. Just in general, if you had a vacuum leak, any engine with a vacuum leak, you'll end up with tons of issues. But that's how you change. That's how you change the fuel injectors on the 1.4 T Cruze engine. It's not too hard, as you can see it. It only took about 10 minutes or so. Probably took more time doing it in a video format than I've done it before. Like I said, this is going to be my my third attempt to get these tuned in and dialed in properly in HP tuners, but I've heard other people have done it. I saw a lot of videos. I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to modify as many things as I was told to modify. I'm only going to change the scaling, and then I'm going to see what that does, and or just the scale on the flow, the flow on the injectors, and the fuel pressure and all that will be stock settings, because these are high output fuel injectors anyway. 60-pound injectors, and I think that with the stock pressure and with the right scaling and the lower milliseconds on the shortest pulse width time, we'll probably operate these properly. But I don't know, I just wanted to make a video on doing one of the modifications that I've done on this. I didn't do the one with the valve springs. I didn't do the one changing out the pistons. I didn't do the turbo. And I kind of feel like I could have made all of those videos because I did the rods, the pistons, and the valve springs all at once. And I had the turbo off, so I just went ahead and threw that on there too. And the intake isn't too hard to put on this either. But I had this all torn apart to replace the pistons and the connecting rods, so it wasn't too bad. But there it is. I'm making this longer by continuing to talk about it. But there it is, fuel injectors. I may or may not cover the tune aspect of the fuel injectors. If I can figure it out, I'll share it with you, because nobody wants to share the 60-pound secret. And if I find out what it is, I'll go ahead and share it, because it's ridiculous that it's not being shared. I suppose it ain't too ridiculous that it ain't being shared. People spent hours. Like, this is my third attempt at these injectors, and I could see why it's like, you know, it's like, I found it, it's mine, you know. So we'll go ahead and if I find out the secret, I'll throw some of my tune in with it. But we'll leave it there.